In terms of Sheffield United, that's 10 playoff finals and 10 losses. Next season will be crucial that they don't go backwards. Of course, Chris Wilder came in towards the end of last season when they were at the bottom half of the Premier League table. He's going to need to try and galvanise this team to have the energy to try and go again, because if you look at these stats when it comes to teams that lose the playoff final, it doesn't give a very positive reading. So here's the tendency that we've seen over the last few years coming up.
Still coming up.
Still waiting. It's still loading. It's loaded.
Hey, there we are.
Yeah, I think the big one to look at there is failed to make the playoffs, 46% since 1987, so since Nigel was playing. It's been going that long. I just think that when you're in this situation, the teams normally get ripped apart. Premier League teams come in, Championship teams who have gone up go, right, we'll take these players, and then they have to think about how they're going to rebuild and recoup all of that money. I don't see how many players are going to lose from Sheffield United. I think maybe 2 would go and help in the Prem. The rest they might lose it and have to sort out that front line. You can't score the amount of goals that they've scored.
Yeah, they definitely need to get a striker in there, but I do agree with that failed to make the playoffs. Like you said, I experienced it in my first year with West Ham. Second year was a struggle. Like, we really struggled, and we just about made the playoffs going through a run of games. And then when you look at the Championship next year, you've got 3 Premier League sides which are capable of competing in the top 6 in Southampton, Leicester and Ipswich. And then you've also got now big money spending Birmingham City coming to the Championship alongside Wrexham. So they're going to cause some problems. You've got Coventry with Frank Lampard, who's going to be competing. So it's not going to be easy. I think, if anything, it's going to be a very tough season for Sheffield United next year.
And also, we don't know who's going to come up. Maybe Charlton come up, maybe Wickham. You know, in this situation where you're in a situation, I said Wickham, Leyton Orient, sorry. But you're in a situation where any of these teams coming up now will look, as we said earlier, at Sunderland, underdog mentality. Do you know what? Maybe we can have a chance. The one thing we know about the Championship, if you're fit, organised and have a goal scorer, you'll be in the top 6. You'll have a chance.
I mean, Chris Wilder, you'd have to have a heart of stone not to feel sorry for him. He's absolutely distraught, distraught. He almost reminded, when I was talking to him then, you know, they had it. It was in their hands. It was all there for them. It was like, you know, the scene at the end of The Usual Suspects, and he realises it's gone and he's away. And that's it. Yeah. And that's how he feels right now. And you could talk about the Wembley curse, and that's 10 out of 10 now for Sheffield United. It was in their hands. You know, great credit to Sunderland, and he gave them praise as well, quite rightly. But just that look, those lapses on big occasions, that's what's cost them.
And decisions too. He obviously spoke about the second goal being ruled out for offside. You're not surprised that he's upset by that?
No, absolutely not. You look, again, it's really difficult because VAR being in on this game alone. I'm pretty sure over the course of the season, if they'd have had VAR 5 or 6 other times, they've had a lot more wins under their belt. I think it's a stupid rule. I really do, that they put it in on this game. It's really difficult. This is the Championship, and EFL is known for just, when that goal goes in, it happened. Deal with it, get on with it. I don't think it was an offside. I don't think the keeper was getting there anyway, personally.
It's past him, isn't it?
But it is past him. But that happened, and the one bit that he alluded to, the best part, was what me and Nigel said straight away. And as players, you know, when Kiefer Moore gives that ball away, you know that the game's on. And he didn't go to town on him. He did very well to look after his players. But he'll know now, and Kiefer will know as well, for the whole of this summer, I should have looked after him. And because he gave the ball away, it's job done.
From him doing that, I was going to say, Geoff, obviously you have a more personal relationship with him. Were you surprised at how honest he was? I actually admire his honesty as a manager. He didn't come and try and paint a different picture of what we see. He didn't make no excuses. Very honest reflection.
With Chris Wilder, what you see is what you get. Wears his heart on his sleeve. You know, we know he's a Sheffield boy. He's just absolute. That wasn't just an interview with the losing manager. That's an interview with a losing manager and a losing supporter. That will cut deep, really, really deep. Not because they've lost the playoff final. That's bad enough. It's because it was there. It was within their grasp.
And also as well, Geoff, he has to go home and live around that. The one thing that the players don't understand is players come and go. He's from the area. He's with all his friends, a family are going to be asking him and questioning him now. This will be the longest summer of his whole entire managerial career. I put money on that because of what you said. It was in their hands. Now he has to go home, explain it, rethink about the squad and what's going to happen, rethink about what he's going to do next year, and lift the whole place while being questioned.
In time, though, could he use this as fuel next season?
Absolutely.
In time.
What we were saying, I was a little bit disappointed, if I'm being totally honest, Geoff, that him and his players weren't stood here using that for that reason.
And also to clap up the Sunderland players, and just show them a bit more respect. They went straight in the dressing room. I understand the frustration, but Troy and I felt that they should have stayed there, and then that soaking up that moment, it might hurt, but that's going to be the fuel to your fire. Watching players walk up them stairs, lift up the cup, that's what you want to do next season.
Those hard runs in pre-season, that's what that motivation is. When you don't want to,
you don't want to feel that again.
When you want to stop and your legs are burning, your lungs are on fire, remember that, and you would go a little bit further on.
Take a look at this. These are the new season's newcomers. So for the 25-26 campaign, you'll have Leicester City, Ipswich Town and Southampton dropping down from the Premier League. But then Birmingham City, Tom Brady's team, of course, who's affiliated with now, have been promoted from League One, as have Wrexham, the Hollywood team. And then tomorrow, Geoff and Nigel will be front seats here to see who will be getting that sixth spot between Charlton and Leyton Orient.
London derby, Geoff.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It'll be a great game. Really, really looking forward to it.
Charlton, big club, historic. When I was playing, they were a Premier League club. Had some difficult years, financial trouble, ownership trouble, and it's the big stage for them right now. A real big opportunity for Charlton to get back up in there.
And also, of course, involved in probably the greatest ever playoff final.
Yeah, that is very true. But I was going to say, to Leyton Orient, new ownership, new investment. Got Richie Wellens there, play a wonderful brand of football. Yeah. They all feel that they've got everything in their armoury and arsenal with this wonderful pitch to go and beat this Charlton team.
Yeah, of course, the pitch is getting prepared again because there is another game, as I mentioned, happening here tomorrow. But one of those teams has garnered a lot of attention, Wrexham, the Hollywood story. Are they going to make it back-to-back promotions?
You're trying to wind him up.
Yeah, Troy. Yeah, Troy.
They're the second team. They came second. Well done. We only talk about Birmingham City. That's all we talk about. That's American ownership.
Well, I think
Tom Brady.
Typical Brummie lad.
Won it by a canter. The most points ever in League One.
You better have
want
won
to talk about Wrexham.
You better have won it by a canter.
You want to talk about Wrexham. Anyway, let's talk about Wrexham.
I'm saying next season, when you talk about who might go up, I'm putting Birmingham City in the conversation because I think they can get to the playoffs.
Playoff spot.
Yeah, and I think they can do it.
And what's your reason for that, Geoff?
I gave him a headlock earlier and said he had to say it.
New ownership.
Okay.
Bizarrely, quite a few of their fans said it wasn't actually a bad thing that they went down to come back with momentum. I just think that they've got a kind of a vision which doesn't guarantee you anything. You're getting heady already.
Too much chat and I started getting
altitude of even talking about Birmingham City being back in the Premier League.
Who cuts the grass now, really? Who cuts the grass now? Hayfield's taking over, sorry.
So, yeah, I think they deserve to be in the conversation, Nita.
Yeah.
You know, a couple of the teams that came down, of course, Sheffield United, they'll regroup, they'll be back there, but I wouldn't be dismissive.
And also, you've got to remember, Wrexham and Birmingham will have a lot of money to spend. They're now coming into a whole new situation, both commercially. You look at Wrexham as well, they're linked with Jamie Vardy, Tom Kearney. They're looking at those calibre of players. So I think the EFL next year is going to be wonderful.
Right, I think it's clear to everyone at home that you think Birmingham City will be in the conversation for promotion.
We're going to win the league, yeah.
Okay,
basically.
so which are the other two teams then, Troy?
Oh, we don't care. It's only about Birmingham.
Oh, yeah, sure.
That's all.
Okay.
I'm being if you're being serious, it depends on what Leicester have. If they get financial trouble, penalties, you would think that they're going to have a new manager and everything else. I think you're looking at these type of teams. I think Birmingham City will be up there because they've got a style of play. They've got players that they've bought. I think Leicester, depending on if they lose points, Ipswich, they won't lose too many of their players. It's a championship team that tried to compete in the Prem. So I think those three will be up there.
Okay, so two of the teams from the Premier League that have gone down to the Championship, you think will go back up at the first time of asking. Nigel, here are your picks. Do you want to talk us through them?
Yeah, I've gone with Ipswich. I think Ipswich are a well-equipped side that will go back up. Coventry under Frank Lampard's guidance and everything that he's done so far and how he's transformed that club. I did say Sheffield United today, but again, don't know how they're going to go. They definitely will be in the conversation, but there are other clubs that could cause some problems in there still.
Okay, well, let's take a look at Geoff's picks. Not very different. Geoff, I'll ask you about the Coventry City pick. Do you feel now that Frank Lampard will have more time with this team, he'll be able to get even more from them, because in such a short space of time, it's been remarkable?
Well, he took over in November. They were 2 points off the relegation zone. I think they'll come strong. I think Doug King will give him money to spend, and it will be much more his group, and I think that will have an effect. They came close this season. So yeah, I wouldn't go too far out that. But again, it's not just a marathon; it's a marathon fight. This division is incredible, absolutely incredible, because you can be. Well, look, we saw how high up Sheffield United were this season. Did they lose the chance to go to the Premier League today, or did they lose it when they lost 3 games in a week?
I think they lost it when they lost 3 games in a week. But I do believe they went out and bought Tom Cannon from Stoke, who's scoring goals. Comes in and he just can't get him in the team, can't get in a rhythm, and you have to score goals. This is the first time the Championship you've not had 20 goals in a team.